You know, guys, it was 8:50 on a perfect Tuesday morning 17 years ago that an airplane struck Tower Number 2, the World Trade Center, one of the most iconic symbols of America, of business, of finance, which started the attack. I guess that's the first thing people went, wow, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then the second one.
Right.
And then the Pentagon. And then we're hearing about Pennsylvania.
Shanksville. You know, it was one of those things where I was working radio at the Big DM, and the news director in there, Brenda Jones. And what happens is you see one of the planes strike and hits. And we're thinking, oh, plane hit, accident. Wow, what's going on with that? Monitoring it. As you're monitoring, then you see the second one strike. Now you're starting to worry. You're figuring something's going on. This is a terrorist attack. Already, automatically, while I'm on air, I'm thinking this is what it is. So we start taking calls. We start checking out the national news channels and the whole 9 yards and figure out this isn't the only one. There's more going on. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Claire, do you remember where you were? You were significantly younger.
I was young, right, and I think I didn't fully understand at the time. I mean, I was about 9 years old, and I was living on a military base in Japan, so because of the time difference, I was asleep when it actually happened, and I woke up to the news of it, and I remember I woke up early because I had a science test that day, so I was going to go study, and my mom was like, hey, you know, you can go back to sleep, we need to talk later, something bad happened. And I remember looking out the window thinking something bad happened, you know, at my house, or you know, and it just took time to really fully understand the magnitude of it. Exactly.
Right. And, I was actually up in Vermont in my other profession. I was actually testifying in court, and I remember I looked out the courtroom door. I got off the stand. I looked out, and there was a guy named Dave Brault who was the court security. And I looked out, and he made eye contact, and he just kind of shook his head, and I was like, all right, who knows? I opened the door, I went out, and I said, what's going on, man? And he just said, I'll never forget it. He goes, well, we're at war. It was crazy. Let's not forget, of course, we talked about the World Trade Center, the people in Pennsylvania, the Pentagon. It's not the first time the trade towers were attacked. You remember Timothy McVeigh back in 1993.
Tried to do it, and it got the daycare, which was a bother. Right. I remember that.
And it's also not the first time and that's why the first time with the first strike in Tower 2, people thought it was a horrible accident because other planes have hit the trade towers accidentally in the past. There was Cessnas and things have hit the towers through the years that they were there. And so that's why the first plane, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But then once that second plane hit,
you knew something was up.
Something was
no
up,
question. All right, we'll be back with more coming up. And don't forget, Tyler will tell you about that memorial that's on the way this afternoon.